Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack 2023 Fantasy Football Tight End Sleeper Show. I'm joined by my buddy Dylan Clemons here. How are you doing tonight, man?
Good, Jordan. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Doing good. Ready to knock out these last position of sleepers here. This
Yes,
is the one that I feel like is kind of the position that gets the least amount of love, but like the push towards leagues going to more tight end premium is kind of correcting that a little bit here.
yep,
At this point, pretty much every league I play in is tight end premium, but I think that the general consensus is kind of still a few years behind on that one, kind of like when
definitely.
PPR
Yep.
kind of started to take over. So with that being said, like, especially leagues where you only are starting one tight end, like being able to have a difference or like a difference maker there, that's like a huge deal there. So
Yeah.
who are, I guess before we get going, actually, everyone make sure you like this video, subscribe to the Fantasy Six Pack channel, get more videos just like this. Head over to fantasy6pack.net/plans. Promo code F6P NFL for 15% off. You're gonna get access to like our cheat sheets for DFS, for betting. We have some of the most accurate rankings for fantasy baseball, football.
Yep.
You got me for Dynasty. You get access to our Discord channel where you can message people like me and Dylan directly, get help on your leagues customized to your exact league right there. So some of the best bang for your buck you can get, and that's over at fantasy6pack.net/plans. With that being said, let's jump on in here to tight ends. Who is your number one sleeper this year?
All right, man. I got Juwan Johnson. We know with Derek Carr coming over to New Orleans, we know he loves to target the tight end. Like I think of Darren Waller in that season where he was just an absolute monster. And there's some similarities there with Juwan Johnson being a former wide receiver as well. So maybe we have something there. What I also like, Jordan, is he lined up and ran a route from the slot 185 times last season, which was seventh most amongst tight ends. We like when tight ends line up in the slot, man. I like that a lot. Sixth best ADOT at the position as well, and that was with very shaky quarterback play. You know, the target accuracy coming at him was 23rd worst in the NFL with Andy Dalton, a little bit of Jameis. He also had the ninth most unrealized air yards. And with improved quarterback play, which I think Derek Carr is a solid upgrade over Andy Dalton, I think Juwan Johnson has a chance to be more than just a touchdown dependent tight end this year. And with him going as tight end 21, Jordan, he has top 12 tight end upside, no doubt in my mind heading into this season.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I like Juwan Johnson. He was the guy I kind of started buying a little bit at the end of the year last year for Dynasty Leagues.
Yeah.
And the fact that Derek Carr ended up there was just like chef's kiss, like perfect. One thing that kind of gives me a little bit of pause there, obviously Chris Olave, he's going to be like the superstar of the passing game there.
Yep.
And, stop me if you heard this before, but Michael Thomas is healthy. And so, I mean, that's like the one guy, like you saw even just last year, the few games he did play, like he's still uber talented, like one of the best players on the field when he's out there. So does that give you pause at all, or do you feel like it's just more of like kind of a matter of if not when he's missing time and then it's wide open behind Olave?
Yeah, I'm the wrong guy to ask that question because I have zero faith in Mike Thomas. I know producer Mike's just probably sitting in the background laughing right now. He's just someone I can't do anymore, man.
I believe a smart man that I know quoted, "I think I would rather eat shit than I my league." I'm pretty sure.
yeah, man. I can't do it. So, and like you said, he is talented when he's on the field, but it's like dude doesn't even really care to play football anymore, is what it seems like to me. But yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like he kind of got paid, and then we just have never seen him the same after that. So we won't beat a lot of time there. Like I'm with you there. I think Juwan Johnson, he's a good sleeper there. Moving on to number 2. This is one that I don't know if I can get on board as much with. Who's your number 2 sleeper here?
I hear you, man. It's Mike Gesicki. We know he's a very, very good receiving tight end. It's just a matter if he's going to get the targets in this Patriots offense. And I think there is a realm of possibility where he's the second highest target getter behind Juju Smith-Schuster, who also came over. It's definitely not the most probable thing, but I think it's possible. I think it bumps Hunter Henry more as the inline tight end because Gesicki not known for his blocking as well. And he's a solid red zone target. And Joe Bonnet and I did the Miami Dolphins preview, and we talked about it. Like, he's not someone you can just set it and forget it at your tight end spot. I think you need to look at matchups. I think you need to look at who gives up most touchdowns to tight ends, and I think Gesicki is a solid streaming option there. And you're getting him at tight end 23, so you probably don't even need to take him as a draft pick. You can probably just get him off of waivers whenever he has that first good matchup and take him there. But I don't have any issue if you want to take him If you punt the tight end position and wait until like your last 2 rounds, it is what it is there at that point, you know?
Yeah, I think that if you miss out on like one of those top tier tight ends, like just betting on athleticism is the way to go when you're getting later in the drafts, and that's something that Mike Gesicki definitely has.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it makes me a little nervous, just like the fact he like wasn't able to carve out a role in Mike
Yeah,
McDaniel's
I
offense.
know.
Like, and I know that coming in, they said like right from the start that basically he was going to be a bust because they don't use tight end in that offense, but it just seems weird that like if a guy is that talented that a coach wouldn't find a way to use him just because of the system or whatever. So it makes me a little nervous that if he can't get it going in Mike
I hear
McDaniel's
you there.
offense,
Yep.
that like is he really going to get it going in a Bill Belichick offense?
Yep.
But that being said, like outside of Juwan or outside of Juju Smith-Schuster, and then you got Tyquan Thornton coming on there a little bit, maybe there's not a lot of competition for targets out there, especially with Jacoby Myers on. So I could see Gesicki kind of taking over like that short to intermediate role and kind of taking over that now that Jacoby's gone. But all right, moving on to number 3 here. Who is your last tight end sleeper we got here?
It's Tyler Higbee, Jordan, and I don't understand how he can be going as tight end 15 right now. The man saw 102 targets last year, and I get it. Cooper Kupp missed some games down the stretch, and it was the corpse of Allen Robinson last year. But Robinson still also saw some targets in the red zone, you know, as that fade type of receiver, go up and get it type of guy. But I like Tyler Higbee. He's gonna, in my opinion, he's probably going to be the second target getter behind Cooper Kupp in this offense. He might not see 102 targets like he did last year, but it's still going to be a solid amount. And he ran the 3rd most routes at the position last year, so I don't see why, especially at tight end 15, you can wait. You can wait so long in your drafts and get him, and he has, in my opinion, tight end top 12 upside each week because of the offense he's in, which should be solid with Matthew Stafford at quarterback. But Jordan, their defense is so bad as well. So they're going to be down in a lot of games, and they're going to need to throw. So that bodes well for Tyler Higbee, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that like his production always outmatches where he goes in drafts, and it just seems like even last year I think he was like tight end 6, like, and it still has not corrected his ADP at all this year. And so he's like the exact like perfect example of like if you don't grab the first tight end, you want to be one of the last ones to grab him because that's where he's going around. What did you say, tight end number 15, I believe? So I mean, in a 12-team league, he's going as a tight end 2. And I believe he's finished as a tight end 1 at least the last 2 seasons, if not 3, in that offense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's pretty wild, especially like your PPR league. Like they don't have a lot of people underneath. Like Cooper Kupp does everything, but like outside of that, there's not a lot to compete with in the passing game. Like I'd argue he's probably the second best pass catcher there, wide receivers included.
Yep. But Jordan, before we finish up, let me flip the script to you here. With you being the dynasty guy and the rookie guy, I'm curious your thoughts. This was a very, very solid tight end draft class. It's not likely that a tight end carves out a huge impact in an offense. Not many rookie tight ends do, but who is your number 1 rookie tight end for redraft this year?
Yeah, so this was a tough one. I kind of changed my answer on this one a couple times. Ultimately ended up with Sam Laporta from Detroit.
Okay, cool.
And like as I say that, I'm having flashbacks to DeAndre Swift, just like why won't they play this guy and just those type things coming over and over. But I do think that this is kind of a guy that was handpicked, by this regime here. They let TJ Hawkinson go last year, and he was heavily featured in their passing game up before that point. And then after that happened, then like the tight end position basically just disappeared from their offense. I think Brock Wright came in and had like 1 game maybe where he was decent, and then after that it was just nothing basically. So I think that he's going to be able to come in and compete for snaps pretty much right away. Jameson Williams is going to miss the first 6 games, so they're going to need somebody else there. And then Laporta is like one of those guys that like, you always hate throwing out like the greats of the greats names to compare, but like in terms of like running after the catch, like he's kind of got that Gronk ability where he gets it and he's just a bowling ball once he gets going.
Right on, sure, yeah.
So I mean, he's a guy. I don't know. They obviously like him. They drafted him top of the 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
There's no competition for snaps. He's a pass catcher. He can also come in and block. So like he doesn't really have like a weakness. Like he doesn't have one area where like outside of run after the catch where he's like elite, but he does everything well. So I think he's going to be on the field. Maybe not week 1, 2, but I do think it'll be the first half of the season when he's making a big impact for your fantasy leagues. And I think as soon as he's like fully starting, he's going to be a top 12 tight end pretty much every week.
Right on, Jordan. Yeah, I like that call. He's stepping into the best position to show out this year. That's for sure.
Absolutely, yep. But all right, man. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our sleeper position previews here. Make sure you guys go back and check out the previous ones. We've done quarterback, running back, receiver already. Like I said, make sure you like the video, hit subscribe so you get more content like this. Make sure you become an all access member over at fantasy6pack.net/plans. With that being said, appreciate you guys joining in, and Dylan, you have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks, Jordan.